So welcome to Social Inception. We are doing this on Curious Inception, where we talk about so many things that are happening in the world today, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there's a lot of things going on in the world, enough for us,
Yes.
to talk about. But, this is our second episode, so we did make it this time to a second episode. So hopefully we'll make it to a third. There's just so much going on in our personal lives. But for people that don't know us, maybe we need to introduce ourselves.
Absolutely. I am Nayana Ferguson. I am the co-founder of Curious Inception, which is a small business consulting company. I am also the co-founder of the multi-award winning Intil Tequila, which is amazing, right?
Yeah.
I am also co-founder of Teak Life, which is another company that we handle as well. So, we have a lot going on. And
I am Don Ferguson, the co-founder of all of those. And, maybe I'll be adding some more credentials in the future. We got some other things that we're working on. But we have a lot of things to talk about. We have limited time. So I'm just going to dive right into it.
Okay.
I'm going to say it. So people are lazy.
That's what we keep hearing, right?
They don't want to work. They don't want to do anything. They just want to sit at home and that's it. Is that right? Is that what's going on? Well,
that's what we're hearing in this season of COVID, because of course we're still in, COVID was more of last year, and then now we're in 2021 and we're nearing 2022. So it's kind of like, what are we doing going forward with COVID? But we are hearing so many people are lazy because they are quitting their jobs.
I mean, that's what I'm seeing in the media.
Yes.
I'm seeing, just people on social media as well, interviews, all of those different things. And, so are people lazy?
I don't think so. I think it's so many different aspects that we can talk about, and I think we're going to talk about them today. I don't think people are lazy. I think there are just different things that they learned during COVID, about working, about their quality of life and things like that. So those are some of the things that we're going to talk about today.
Well, that leads me to, I was listening to a podcast, maybe early on or mid-pandemic, where a lot of things were locked down. And this motivational speaker said, there are going to be people that come out of this pandemic stronger.
Yes.
In better shape, health-wise, come out with a new skill, or they're going to work on their side hustle and turn it into a legitimate company, a legitimate business. And, us as business consultants, we're going to touch on that, at the end of this video, but we really want to talk about what, from our perspective, what's going on. And I don't think people are lazy.
But I think I'm also going to mention some of the reports and things that people are saying out there, of why they think people are lazy and things like that, because we of course need to have both sides.
But there's these great paying, fantastic jobs out there that everybody wants.
No, and that's the thing. People are saying they're lazy, but they're talking about jobs that are in the restaurant, hospitality industries, and a lot of people, I think, realized during COVID they didn't want to do that. And why didn't they want to do that?
Well, one of the things that we always witness, and when we go to, restaurants, we like to sit at the bar. We just like to talk.
That's the fun part.
Yeah, we like to talk cocktails and, liquor and stuff like that, especially since we own a tequila brand. Mm-hmm. But it's a situation where we will talk to a lot of people, and we see rude people coming up. We see people that if you sit in a restaurant or if you go into an environment, of hospitality, you are there to serve them. I mean, that's just no better way to put it.
But to serve them, does that mean that they need to tolerate somebody just totally being rude or totally being disrespectful? Like,
no.
Does that go with that? Just because you're serving someone, do you need to accept the disrespect? Like,
you should never accept anything that is beneath what you deserve.
Exactly.
And I think that's kind of what's happening. And even last year in the hospitality, there was a big a big local beer company that had a couple of restaurants, and the one downtown Detroit got into a lot of trouble because of racism.
Yes.
And so we've learned about a lot of, within certain particular environments, racism that exists, intolerance, just a lot of things that I think for the most part people are just tired of dealing with.
Absolutely. I mean, just because you're in the hospitality industry does not mean that you need to be treated just disrespectful and things like that. You should still be treated like a human being. We've seen so many reports and so many articles about people who have been cussed out. They've been punched, and things like that, just because they are serving someone and someone had a bad day, had an attitude or whatever. And it's like, are you supposed to take that when you're only earning like less than minimum wage?
Well,
and for tips, but you're supposed to be okay with someone either punching you or cussing you out.
But let's make it clear, not everybody tips either.
No.
So that's a whole other conversation.
That's another conversation.
But I don't want to just focus on hospitality. I worked retail for almost 11 years, and so I had 10 Black Fridays under my belt. And let me tell you, I won't name the retailer, but it's blue shirts and khakis.
See, you're trying to name.
Look, I didn't name nobody, right? But I mean, I've been called an asshole, a stupid fuck.
And that was pre-COVID.
Oh, that was way pre-COVID. Way pre-COVID. This was pre-SARS.
Yeah.
So, but I was told one time somebody came up to me because I couldn't find a product, and then they found it, whatever. I won't go into details, but he said he was going to kick my ass because he couldn't find his DVD. I'm dating myself with the DVD.
Yes, with the DVDs.
But the point is like, I didn't tolerate that. I actually kicked him out of the store.
Okay.
But it was a situation where when you work in an environment such as that with the public does not have the right to, disregard you as a human being.
No.
And that's, I think, what's starting to happen now. And, let's not even talk about raises, because I worked at said retailer for almost 11 years, and my raise one year was a dime. A whole year of working, a dime. The cost of living raise or allowance every year is not even, it's less, a dime? That was way less than the cost of living allowance increase.
But that's the thing. It's not even, because we see all the reports of how many of these jobs are available and how many people are still looking for work, and there's a discrepancy between them two.
There's a big discrepancy.
And, most people think like these are the white collar jobs or blue collar jobs that are really,
trades.
earning some income that can support a family. But a lot of them are in the retail, hospitality type of service that people do not. I think a lot of people learned during COVID that they don't want to deal with that, just because of the fact that they, I think, are learning, hey, maybe I can do something better. Maybe I can get another type of employment.
Or wait a minute, maybe that year, they were learning a new skill.
Yes.
Maybe they were doing something else. And, a lot of the times this conversation tends to go towards, people taking advantage of the system and living off of the system. Well, I have witnessed this firsthand, being a divisional vice president, where a lot of people took advantage of the company's system.
They took advantage of white collar system.
Absolutely. Smoke breaks excessively.
Yes.
Phone breaks, going out and taking your time to get lunch and just different things like that. Is that not taking, advantage of the, and we're
I think
employers.
it is. I think it is. A lot of people want to focus on, because they're retail and blah, blah, blah. But we know that the white collar workers, we know blue collar workers that take advantage of the system. And because they're talking about the unemployment, the whole unemployment thing, where a lot of people were earning, some people were earning more than they earn in a regular position that they have.
Sure.
But
if people don't tip.
And
they don't.
I would like to think that a lot of people, and all these people are saying that people are lazy. I would like to think that some of those people, not majority, I can't say, did say, you know what, I'm going to learn something else. I'm going to learn something new. I'm going to get me a better job, a better position. So when we come out of this, I can afford to feed my family, to house my family. You know,
or I think it's deeper than that, is pursue my dreams and passions.
Absolutely.
And when you say, like, I want to clarify, better job,
right.
It doesn't necessarily mean that, working in fast food or hospitality or anything like that is not a good job.
No.
A better job for them. And a lot of these times, and I've seen this, I've talked to, a lot of people that I used to work with over, the last 10 years. And it's been crazy the amount of stress that they have in a production type role, where a lot of them were on antidepressants, anti-anxiety, they were depressed, they were taking leave of absence, because
they were stressed or depressed.
So you have to take a look at that. And the better job doesn't always mean better pay.
No.
It's better for your mental health.
Or a better quality.
Yes.
Because we're looking for that.
Quality of life.
I think a lot of people realized that during COVID, because they had to sit down and they were like, hey,
Florida did.
Maybe I can have a better quality of life for me and my family. Maybe I won't be as stressed out. Maybe I won't be as depressed or anything like that, because those are topics that are a whole nother conversation.
They are.
But I think a lot of people realized that during COVID.
Well, there's the other thing, realizing it and working from home during COVID. I'm going to say something super controversial, and I'm not I'm not the politically correct person in this relationship. But the unpaid commute time.
Oh my God.
The unpaid commute time.
We were talking about that because in my previous careers, I have been, one to work way far from where I lived. And at one point, my drive time was like an hour going to and then coming back. But that was in good weather. So in inclement weather in the Midwest, you can imagine,
right?
And that is unpaid time getting to a job.
It is. So I mean, if you're paid, let's just say you're paid $20 an hour, but it takes you, a half hour, 45 minutes to get to work, and then a half hour, 40. You got to factor that in. And then if you have to get to pick up your children, and I think that's what kind of happened during the pandemic with people working from home. Now, first of all, I'm a big proponent that if you can do a job from home, you can fucking do it from home.
Absolutely.
I have no idea why you should have to go back into the office if you are doing a great job from home. That's just my opinion.
Mine
too. When I see people excited to go back in the office, I get it, the social, and stuff like that, but that shit wears off after a week. Let me tell you, I'm tired of seeing this motherfucker already. I don't want to talk to Karen no more about her breadsticks that she couldn't get because she had to wait 30 minutes in the drive-thru. I don't care.
Okay, we know several stories about that.
Yeah. So my thing about it is, that became a luxury, especially for people with parents, people with children, rather, people that are parents, and people with, parents that are maybe sick that they have to check on, the elderly. So that is another conversation that people have to have, is a balance of life. And a lot of companies talk about a work-life balance, but that's some bullshit. They really don't care as long as you are doing the job and you're performing for them. Your life is important to them, but it's not as important as the almighty dollar. And that's coming from from two people that have been in executive positions. So the other thing that we've kind of learned, with our company throughout this whole process, of the pandemic, is gig working.
Yeah.
Gig working. Yeah. It didn't exist 5 years ago, really.
No, but we've learned so much more about it in the last couple of years. And I think with COVID, that has just made it even more so, just because there are gig workers. DoorDash is a gig work. Shift
Uber,
is a
Lyft.
gift. All of these things are gig working.
My parents get their prescriptions delivered.
Exactly. These are all gig working situations. And these weren't prevalent 5 years ago, but they are now. Because one, convenience, but two, it is allowing people to create their own schedule. determine how much money they make, because of course if you drive more for Uber, if you drive every day for a certain amount of hours, you're going to make more than someone who just drives on the weekend.
But we're not saying, and I'm not trying to cut you off, but we're not saying these are high paying positions.
Not at all.
But what you talked about is the flexibility.
Yes.
That is the difference maker.
That's what it's about. I think the gig workers are doing it because the flexibility, because of the convenience of being able to control their own work.
They're dynamic. Well, let's talk about Atlanta. When we were in Atlanta for the big festival, and we only Ubered. We didn't rent a car.
Yeah.
So we ran into a gentleman, driver, super cool dude.
Yes,
like super cool dude. I really enjoyed that. Sometimes you get an Uber, you have no conversation.
Right.
But
most of our Ubers we had a great conversation. But he stood out.
Yeah, he was dope. So like, why was he dope though?
He was dope because he was an Uber driver who had, I'm not going to name the place, but he was a truck driver for a major supermarket chain. And he decided that he wanted to do Uber just because it gave him more time with his family, with his child.
Yes.
Because the time that he had with driving, he was not getting that time with his kid. Yeah. So he wanted to make sure that he could spend time with his family. So he chose to Uber drive.
Well, his truck broke down.
And that whole story.
Yeah, so his truck broke down and he started and then he got his truck fixed and he's like, I don't think I really want to go back.
Right.
Because I'm able to raise my son. These are the precious years that I'm never going to get back.
Yeah.
And so,
that bonding time. And it's so it was a lot of COVID babies. So I know a lot of people are going to be doing that as well, because the times between 1 and 5 years old are a very crucial bonding time with children. Sure. And I think with our Atlanta Uber driver, his kid was a little bit younger within that age range. Yeah. And he wanted to make sure that he can be there for that bonding time with his son.
I mean, it's super important. So I think people have started to take stock and take inventory of what skills they actually have.
And quality of life.
Yeah, and a lot of people have skills that you can go to Fiverr, you can go to, Upwork, you can go to, all these different things. Like I'll see, shipped workers, I don't know what you call them, doing 3 orders at a time. They're doing 3 orders at a time. So, and they end up knowing the store like the back of their hand so they can do that.
Yes.
What I'm saying is, as a part-time job or something to maybe supplement or take over for working, in a McDonald's or something like that, you can create your own time. And you can do it, at your own leisure and create a better quality of life. That's what I'm saying. But with our business consulting, we're seeing a lot of people are firing their bosses.
Yes, we are having so many people who want to start their business. They've been thinking about it. And I think in this time of COVID and just people realizing about the quality of life of
all of those things we mentioned,
all that flexibility, that they want to go ahead and start their business and they want to know how. So we've been seeing so many people coming to us saying, hey, this is where I am. Can you help me move forward with that? And
we kind of took this plunge late in life. I was 44 when I quit. I'm just gonna say, because I want to keep it real with people. I think it's very important to be transparent. So it's in our 40s that we decided, I don't know if this is for me. Yeah. I don't know if all of this stress, anxiety, some of the depression, the long hours, the commute, all of these things. And I think we got to a point, if we don't do it now, when?
When? Exactly.
And that's what we're starting to see, is people are seeing, that for their own lives and for their own family, that if I don't do it now, when am I going to take this chance? And the worst thing in the world that you end up, on your deathbed with is regret.
Yes.
You never want to
Yes.
regret not taking that shot, not taking that chance or
Yeah.
that risk. And we
Yeah.
see it all the time.
You want to make sure. But I mean, okay, so one piece of this, so we talked about our stance on it. So one piece of it is that and I've seen so many people are talking about, well, people are lazy because they can take these good jobs that are out there, they need to work, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I don't think they're really seeing the gist of the whole picture.
Right.
I don't think they're seeing that, okay, and most of these people are people who have good jobs.
Really good jobs.
They usually have good jobs because
Yes.
we know someone that,
We know many.
We know many, but we know someone that went to a fast food restaurant and they were upset because it was a staff shortage, so they couldn't get, I forgot what they were getting, but they couldn't get their order fast enough. And
Right.
they were like, yeah, these people are lazy. They just need to get a job. See, you're talking about it because you are a white collar worker and you're upset because you can't get your order in 5 minutes or whatever it is. And it's just like,
Yeah.
really? Like, so, I mean, that
Maybe
goes,
we don't need fast food. I don't know.
But
Maybe
that
that was
goes-
a sign.
but that goes into that mindset of some people, and because I don't do generalizations, but some people who have a mindset of, okay, I'm this type of worker, and so everyone who is in a lower work class or something that I am, they should make sure that they keep their jobs, they do this to serve
for my
me.
benefit.
Right, to serve me.
Yeah.
And that's not right.
It's all my benefit. And
Yeah,
so
that's not right, because you really don't have the mindset of what that worker is going through or that establishment is going through, because we have heard of different establishments that they're short staffed and they have one person working a whole floor.
And if,
like, really?
When we go into a situation like that, we're super patient.
Absolutely.
We don't have the expectations. We want to be, respectful of them, and then we also tip extremely well.
Yes.
But I want to flip it, like, since we're talking about that, because we're business owners, we need people, to do position, work for us.
Yes,
we need,
do.
And we understand from that point as well. I can't get, salespeople in a particular region because it's super hard right now and they maybe don't want to. But I don't get super mad about it. I don't get really agitated because I understand. I understand a little bit more.
Well, and I think that's what it is. We're asking of those who are not in those positions to understand better of what these industries are going through. Be more patient, and truly understand where these people are coming from, because it's getting rough out there.
It's impacting everything. Like, even for the liquor industry, there's a glass shortage. There's a label shortage. Even the glue to hold on labels, there's a shortage.
There's aluminum,
logistics,
steel, all
of
these
this.
things, right?
And so you just have to understand the complexity of where we're at.
Yes.
But at no time have we ever said, well, people are just lazy.
No.
They need to go fulfill these roles.
No.
It'll work itself out. It'll come back. And, I don't have any concerns whatsoever, with that. So I understand both sides, and especially for the restaurant owners and the retail small business owners.
Absolutely.
Finding, that it's hard to get some good help right now. We fully understand.
Yes.
We don't think that it's people being lazy. I think there is a whole, huge underlying issue, but I think we touched on some of those. And, it's just, I remember being, young, and most of my friends worked at McDonald's and Burger King and, Taco Bell, and I don't see that much anymore.
And that's what it was. Us growing up, all of those jobs for, McDonald's, Burger King, all of those things, the bagging people at grocery stores.
Oh, yeah.
Those are all teenagers.
They were.
That's what we grew up with.
They were.
But now, they're expecting adults to do that and support their family on that.
Well, where are the teenagers?
That's not realistic.
Our parents, because we had to get jobs.
Yes.
Our parents encouraging, I'm not going to say forced.
Yeah,
are encouraging their children to go out and get jobs. And that may be another topic, for another
That's a
time.
totally different topic.
We're finding a lot more, a lot more of the time, people are finding what truly makes them happy, and they're going for it. And if you have a dream out there, please go for it. Please put in some of the
you only
time.
get one life.
Take it seriously. You know, don't let it slip. Don't give a shit about what any of your friends say, your family says. Don't listen. You know, block that out and go for your dream. But whatever it is, make sure you're passionate about it. Because if you're not passionate about something that you're doing, it's just going to end up being another job.
Absolutely. I mean, but I truly think, and we've said it a couple of times on here, is that people found out about quality of life,
Yes.
you know, during COVID, because we only get one life.
Yeah.
And, you know, because of COVID and because of people passing away, you know, especially in a lot of people's families that they had to experience this, they're thinking more of like, you know what, I have one life to live.
Yeah.
I want to have this be a quality of life. You know, I of course I have to earn money to support my family and things of that nature, but I don't need to be going through this stress, you know, and this anxiety, things that can kill you over time, as we know, you know. So I think it's a different mindset that a lot of people came to during COVID.
They did.
Because of that.
There was a lot of self-realizations, and, you know, when you're forced to slow down, you can actually see everything around you.
Yes.
You can start to take inventory of like, wow, you know, this is nice to be able to focus on myself and maybe meditate or maybe get to work out or, you know, take that bike ride, like whatever it may be. And that's where there became a shift in this society. And
I think we've talked about it before, you know, how we've had the Industrial Revolution. I truly think it's an entrepreneurial revolution now, just because most people are like, you know what, I can do this business. I have a passion for it. This is something I really want to do. This is something that I really want to give to the world and my talent. And they are seeking that.
I want to say the entrepreneurial self-employed revolution, because you know there kind of is a difference between self-employed and being an entrepreneur. Is financial risk.
We would have to talk about that one time, because I don't know if people know the difference between the two.
I'm going to piss a lot of people off. I get it, but you know, that's our take. We don't think people are lazy.
No.
We feel for both sides, you know, of the fence, because we're on one side as well that we need to hire, but then on the other side, you know, we are understanding as well. But, you know, to just kind of close this out is, if you have an idea, if you have a dream, if you have something that you've always wanted to do in life, do not let anything hold you back.
No.
Go for it.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks for watching for our second.
I know, our second
episode. Let's make a third.
Do a third.
We'll make a third. So, and if you need any help, always reach out to us, CuriousInception.net.
Yes, and definitely look forward to other topics that we're going to talk about on Social Inception, because we are going to take all of these ideas and all of these things that are happening in the real world and give our opinion about it.
Yeah, and I won't hold back. We'll see you.
No, we'll see you later. Bye.